Alrighty, folks, we are live. Just getting the link into live stream links. Is this going to work? Yeah, there it is. Gonna have people joining here shortly. If you are watching in the future, you can skip ahead until, I don't know, you see people popping in the chat or something like that. Who do we got in here in the chat right now? Who am I chatting with? I'm going to also create an invite link. Copy. Send that to the mods in case they want to hop in. Whoa, I've got a whole... I'm in StreamYard right now, so my chat is actually delayed. But we got Michael, we got Alfredo, we got Thea. Nads is in the house, Foster the Picker, Caliber, Avery, Pokey. What's up, folks? So by a show of hands, by a show of ones in the chat, if I'm going to go Twitch mode, how many of you folks are sitting around unable to do what you would normally be doing on Amazon or other online activities because of AWS being down? What's up?
Much. How you doing?
Oh, feeling unproductive.
Yep, same. Testing Wiimote because I have nothing else I can really do right now. So.
Uh-oh, Three's Company.
In the house.
It's the dynamic trio again.
Oh yeah.
I think AWOL's probably busy actually doing something productive right now on eBay.
Yeah, he was outsourcing earlier too, but we'll see if he's doing something.
Yeah, my seller app was super slow when I tried it out earlier today.
Even Whatnot's down. This world is coming to an end.
Yep.
Yep. Even can't even play music on my Alexa. It's just like dead silence.
Rest in peace.
Yep.
I'm gonna head into this live stream topics. How are you enjoying bald life? You guys want to answer that? Just kidding.
I know nothing about that, so.
I actually, on my video today, I'd say about maybe 30% of the comments are congrats on 100K, and probably another solid 20% is you don't look as bad bald as I thought you would. And I'm just like, all right, my ego's actually getting a boost from the YouTube comments. This is amazing.
Nice.
Wait, were you bald in the video you posted today?
Bald, like closer to. I was never entirely bald because I didn't want to like actually razor this. Now it's like starting to look a little bit more like a close buzz cut. But the one from today, it was like, I don't know, like 2 days ago I filmed it.
Oh, I thought your videos were. I thought you were like a month and a half behind on filming.
Well, normally, yeah, but not when I have to. If I did that, I'd be at who knows how far past 100,000 by the time my 100,000 sub celebration video got posted, because that one was all themed around 100.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So I had to crank that one out a little bit faster.
What's your new poster behind you?
Oh, we teased that and Whatnot a bit earlier if you were paying attention.
What for? What is
Rick.
that?
It's the For My Sunbeam. You don't know that?
No, I'm gonna have to Google it.
You don't know You don't watch Retro Rick's videos, do you? You naughty.
Not in a while, no.
If you watch any of him, his or Riff's videos, it'll include that meme. It was just like they were walking out of a video game store one time, and he had that thing. He's getting into his car, and he looks back, and this weird voice is like, "For my son!" And now it's like a recurring little clip that he'll put literally anywhere. Anytime anyone's getting something for their child, that clip's going to be in there. So I made a poster out of it and sent one to him and sent one to Riff, and they both thought it was pretty funny. And I kept one for myself because it's cool. Okay, looking in the topics again. Do you plan on doing another breakdown video on how much you made for 2021 like you did with 2020? What are you guys' thoughts on sharing? Because this is actually kind of a more general topic too, of the pros and cons of sharing business numbers on social.
I think it's wait, hold on. My mic is popping out of my ear right now. I'm using AirPods. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It was falling out of my ears, and I was watching the YouTube live stream instead of this link, so like everything was 30 seconds behind, and I was confused. So, I mean, I don't mind it. I'm not about that life personally, but I mean, if people want to do it, go for the good for them. But whenever you're only showing the positive sides of your business, I think that's really a downside. Like, I think if you're going to show your big wins, you gotta also share some L's too.
Yeah, I think sharing your numbers does help with like transparency, because like, I mean, a lot of our the channels are telling people that like you can make money doing this, and those videos show like an actual number they can like quantify, because people post the video like what they expect they get for the games, but the actual money you made that year shows what you actually got from them.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think, yeah, it's not good to share everything, because then you're just all your information's out there. But I don't know. I think they're good videos. I enjoy watching them.
Yeah. Did you guys see? I just typed a 5 in the live stream topic requests.
Yep, I did.
That was because my barcode scanner is on because it's plugged in, and it scanned a 5 somewhere on my desk.
Huh, interesting.
There's no barcode anywhere near that thing.
I mean,
it's just count
nice.
down until it explodes.
I mean, what you were just saying, I think it's nice for like people that are new to see like, oh, I can actually make like money off of this.
Mm-hmm.
But also I feel like showing your like total sales or your profits, like your total like revenue, I guess, is only half the story too. Because like, let's just say you make $100,000, like how much of that is actual profit?
Right.
Like after shipping, fees, like how much you actually have into, what your margins are. Like it's only half the story, because people are like saying like, oh, someone during like Black Friday made like $30,000 in sales. And it's like, yeah, they made that in revenue, but how much of that is actually profit? That's open for interpretation.
Yeah, especially on RA stuff, margins can get pretty slim depending on what your business model is. I'm a little bit torn on it. I think that video, I got a lot of good feedback on it. A lot of people also saying that like stuff was fake and I wasn't taking enough into account. I do think that the net side of it is far more important than gross numbers. Like gross numbers are flashy, but if you're not like sharing your actual net stuff, then I think it's just like ego mostly. Like it's not all that helpful.
Yeah, you gotta say what you're actually making, because if you just show your sales, you're just bragging at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you spend $30,000 and only make 25,000 in revenue, then it's like
You're right.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I've done like 200K in sales this year, yay! But like, I maybe only made like 50,000 or 20,000 or 80.
Yeah, it varies a lot depending on your business model for sure. Hope I'm not cutting you off, but your screen is frozen.
Oh, mine?
No.
1,000 or 130. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I might be having issues. It snowed a bunch last night.
Okay. You came in there towards the end. Like,
yeah, I think we're back on the same page.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
But yeah, to answer the question, I would say, I would like to. I think that those videos are more helpful than harmful. There definitely is. The two main drawbacks is one, like just the whole ego side of it. Like I don't want to get too much into that arena with my content. And also just the comparison that it can trigger. Like I know that sometimes when I am watching bigger creators and I'm like impressed and inspired by their numbers, but there's also a part of me that is like kind of hard on myself, even though there's all kinds of factors that are different. Like maybe they have employees, or maybe they've been at it for 10 years or whatever. And so that's weighs in my mind a little bit. But if I have the time, I think I will do that again, just because I think the value is definitely there for other resellers, and it's just interesting content too. So yeah, it's mostly just about how it'll fit into my upload schedule.
Are you going to call it like the Phoenix Flex? Is that going to be the title of your video?
No, the title will be something more provocative. Like I think my title from last year was really good. How much I actually made reselling in 2020. It'd be something similar to that.
It should just be a picture of you without a shirt on, just flexing at the camera.
Like that joke would go over so many heads. I would not want to read that comment section.
Yeah.
Next question. I'd be interested to know your top moves and shakers for the year. Merrick's, if you're in the chat, you might have to clarify this one. I don't know if you're talking about. I don't really know what moves and shakers are. And also, I don't know if you're talking about this next year or this last year. I'm gonna assume, in case you're watching this back later, that you're talking about the biggest plays that my business made this last year, and that's also a question that everyone can answer in this video. So why don't we go with that?
Wait, what do you mean by like biggest moves? Like biggest like things that we like business moves?
Yeah, like I don't know, business
biggest deal and deals, like biggest item you sold, maybe like things you did better than last year or something. I don't know.
Yeah, some sort of a step.
I think me and Caleb's is probably going to be pretty similar. I think dipping into the graded game market in early 2020 was very fruitful because it's died down a lot, but the profit margins there at the beginning, if you're able to get stuff into WATA before like April, and you're able to get it back over the summertime, like the profit margins were absolutely ridiculous, even for like the most subpar games.
Yeah.
Like you'd be able to make like a minimum of like $300 to $400 on almost anything you sent in with like that wasn't like shovelware.
Yeah,
it was
more demand than supply.
And as long as you like, and even on eBay, like you didn't even need to send it to Golden or Heritage. Like you just post it on eBay, and it would just be, you'd immediately get like 20 watchers and like a whole bunch of offers overnight. Like it was, everyone was trying to buy and sell, and it was if you just got the market early. Now it's kind of hard because, like, poor Conroy realized earlier today, in the grading chat, that you can't submit something now and expect it back. Even Warp Zone right now at DVD orders is taking 3 months. Like you're spending a lot of money just for stuff to sit on a shelf.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that profit back. But there at the beginning of the year, you're able to turn over thousands of dollars within a few months' time. And that's just, it's crazy about that market. No one else made big business moves. You guys are all just staying the same, staying stagnant.
No, my biggest move is definitely buying out the game store that used to be in town. Because that guy has been just wanted to get rid of stuff, so I've had more inventory than I can even deal with. And I'm making a lot of money on it because even the stuff he's based is really cheap. Like he had a bunch of games he valued at under $8. They just stored forever. That was 4 years ago. So a lot of those games are worth 20 to 30 to 40 now. So I've been buying them for $1 a piece. And then even though I got a bunch of shovelware, I'm getting some great value on that. I've gotten tons of Rock Band sets, consoles, like a bunch of stuff. And I'd be able to flip the stuff I can't really sell fast to my friends in Vancouver because they expanded their game store at the same time. So I was like, oh, here's a box of NES games. I'll take some good ones out. Here's the rest of the NES games for your game store. So it was like really good timing and all that.
There's a lot of there's just a lot of like positives for just getting a giant bulk deal like that, just a whole bunch of inventory at once. Because like it's great. And I've never been able to get as lucky. Like I know that you and someone else posted, I think it was about a month or two ago, like just these giant, like fill up an entire U-Haul trailer deals of like buying out old stores. And it's just like, there's so much value in that because, I mean, unless you're only getting shovelware or like a whole bunch of like iCarly for DS or something. Like
Yeah.
you're it's just great, especially with those Rock Band sets. Don't those sell for like $300 or $400 on Amazon or something ridiculous?
Yeah, the last two sets I've sent in have sold for about close to 300. Even like Rock Band on or Guitar Hero on PS2, like with a wire guitar in a game, has been like over $100 every time. And I have,
Are those high return rates, or have you like not even seen those back?
I don't think I've gotten very many returns on those. I'm pretty strict about it. Like even if like the whammy bar is wiggling a little bit, I'm just not dealing with it. Like unless they're perfect, I'm not sending it to FBA. But I still have so many to send in. That's the one downside about when you get those big bulk deals is you have to be really disciplined to keep getting through that lot. And that I've been struggling with that a lot. Like I have like 4 shelves that I store my inventory on, and 3 of those are still from the game store buyout, and I haven't gotten to them because of other people calling me or just being really bored and wanting to go source because that's a fun part. So it's been a learning experience to be like, okay, to actually focus and get this done, so then you can move on. Because I probably have $10,000 of inventory on a shelf unlisted, and that's not good for business.
Yeah, definitely. Sitting on stuff and not having it like open for sale is I don't think they teach you that in business school.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. For me, I would say a couple weird things. Not weird, but a couple things are coming to mind that I don't know if this honestly was definitely a big year for me. Just in terms of like channel growth was great, and just like overall learning, I feel like I did a lot of. I think the 2 things that jump into my mind are starting to go to video game conventions was a big thing for me, because they present really good opportunities for both for buying inventory and also for filming videos. So that's, I think, going to be a part of my long-term business strategy that is here to stay. So I'm excited about that. And also in September, bringing on Riff as an editor, it was just huge for the channel. Like some people like his editing style more, some people like it less. We're still finding a good balance with that. I think we're hitting a pretty solid groove. But it's really hard to find an editor who really understands the platform and pacing and storytelling and build up and all that stuff, and he gets it. So I'm really grateful for that, because it allows me to focus on like other stuff that I wouldn't otherwise be able to. So that was huge for me. We've got a question from Philip. Do you think that it is worth browsing Facebook Marketplace or Mercari for deals? It feels like there are so many people watching those sites. I'll pass that one to you guys. I'm going to grab some water.
There's a ton of competition and everything. Hold on, I need to take a phone call. I'll be right back.
All right, I guess I'll handle this. Yeah, it is worth it. But depending on your area and how much competition, it might not be worth doing like all the time. I browse Facebook, once or twice a day. I have notifications set up for video games. That's something that can help. You can have notifications for other things. Same with Craigslist. Mercari is kind of like if I'm really bored, I browse it, because I think that's a lot more people have noticed that you can get good stuff on Mercari. But it kind of depends on your area. I think I've gotten some great deals on Facebook, but I couldn't rely solely on Facebook Marketplace deals to make my business. I have to find inventory other ways.
Yeah, a big thing too, I think, is that I would suggest is if you are sourcing on Facebook Marketplace, I would get kind of creative. Like I would look at related categories to video games, assuming video games is what you're looking for, like maybe DVDs or something like that, and maybe find listings that seem like they might also have video games in them, and then message those people and say, hey, do you also have video games for sale? Especially if you go to their profile and realize that they have a lot of stuff that they're listing. They might not even really think to list their video games, even though they're sitting on a bunch of them. So I would definitely recommend that strategy, and also making sure that you anytime you do go out to like meet someone on Facebook Marketplace to do a deal, like give them a card, do your like due diligence with networking, and like tell them the kind of stuff that you're looking for so that they'll call you back if they have more. Like that's a big thing in drumming up repeated business if that's what you're doing. In terms of answering the question, I don't do a lot on Facebook anymore, but I kind of have the luxury of being able to choose from, like, not only am I actively building up my video game store connections, because there's a lot of arbitrage to be done there with people who have more inventory than they can really sell. But also I've got folks reaching out in email and on Instagram saying, hey, are you interested in this collection? So I'm kind of able to pick and choose there. So I'm not really as great to ask on that. Caliber says you could Discord only on the numbers video if you wanted to make sure it reaches an audience that cares. Yeah, if I end up not making a full video about it, we'll schedule a live to make sure that information is available to you guys.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have like a few people submit their numbers too if they're willing to get like, a different range.
Yeah.
Like, you've been doing it for that many years and have YouTube, so you have a different higher number, but you can have like a newer seller say, hey, I started this month and made this much, to give kind of a range.
Yeah, and especially if we could get like some gross and net numbers as well, and like some other basic data of like the kind of stuff that you're selling and like biggest sale or things like that. That could make for a really interesting stream.
Yeah.
AWOL says, what is something you think a seller who's been doing this for a year or more might not know as far as tricks, sourcing, or anything helpful at all? I feel like I should be asking you that, man. I don't know. I've only been doing it for 2 or 3, including part-time. Is it 3? Maybe it's more. I don't know. Tips or tricks for sourcing or anything helpful? I feel like anytime something like that comes into my mind, I'll either say it in a Discord live or in a video. So I don't know if I've got a whole lot else for you. I don't know. Does anything come to mind for you?
I think like with sourcing, I mean, it's kind of what you said earlier, like be as creative as you can to get stuff. Like,
yeah, that's big.
If you're on Facebook, like you said, message them, anyone that has stuff, and see if they have games. If they have games and said they're already sold, ask if they have more. I've scoured like moving sales and looked in the pictures and found like a GameCube pictured in like a corner and asked like, hey, do you have games you're going to sell? And then, try to make the connections. The best thing I ever did this year was the first PS5 I got, I lost $100 on because I sold that to a pawn shop employee who's been wanting one. And now anytime they get games, he calls me, and that's made me 10 times more than I could have gotten for selling the PS5.
Wow.
So, the connections you can make with people is a lot better than the raw deals you can get on items, I think.
That's a good tip, actually. I wouldn't have thought of like trying to essentially source for your local game stores or pawn shops to build connections. That's definitely creative. Like asking while you're in there, what's some stuff that you guys really need, especially since it's going to be a lot of the kind of stuff that we have access to anyway, at least more access than most.
Yeah. And like,
yeah.
Yeah. So you can ask employees like what they're looking for. Even at a thrift store one time, I was going to buy like a CO2 alarm, and the lady checking me out looked bummed that I was buying it. So I asked her if she needed it, and she said, yeah. I said, okay, you can have it. I was just going to sell it for more. So then she gave me like $15 off my cart. And then I asked her like, do you need any other things like smoke detectors? And she's like, yeah, I do. So I found some, sold them to her, and then she started calling me with games coming in. So like,
that's great. Yeah.
The people at the registers are people, and if you make that connection, they will remember you too, and then they'll hook you up. So
give up that short-term profit for the long-term gain. I'm all about that.
Yep.
Catching up on chat here. PS4s, hot button issue. It makes me feel like I'm missing out. I need to like go to all my local places and like buy up all their PS4s.
The merchant fulfilling on Amazon's insane right now. I mean, that's what I've been doing all week is just merchant fulfilling consoles, and they were selling like within like minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah. Getting a lot of connections as part-time is harder. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, I mean everything's harder when you're not doing it full time, but yeah.
Next one. Apologize if this has been covered many times. What do you do when you scan barcode and the picture on Amazon isn't the same as the game in your hand? So I'm guessing that's referring to like maybe it's a picture of like the collector's edition, or it could be like a PAL version or something like that is probably most often what will happen.
He said after like black or red label, so I think he's talking about like greatest hits and player's choice and that type of stuff.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you're worried about it, just note the difference in your listing. Like say, hey, black label version, very good condition, includes case whatever, so that you're just kind of covered if somebody complains and you're less likely to get a return if that's what you're worried about. That's never a bad thing to do. And two, some games have 2 to 3, even 5 listings. Do you just go for the best rank? I go for the one that comes up that with the barcode when I scan it, or if it's a disc only game, yes, I'll go for the one with the lowest rank. But just make sure that you're looking in the correct category. It should be listed under video games, not under like CE or toys or whatever. I've found some like weird stuff that has happened with that. Just watch out for that. Do you have any other?
Nah, kind of the same things. I mean, sometimes I scan the barcode, 3 will come up, and I'll try to go for like the best listing, or like sometimes like the title will be really weird, and I'll go for the one that's like more normal sounding.
Yeah.
Like so, like Xbox 360 CE, this game in parentheses. I'm like, that looks weird compared to like just how every other listing goes, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, and same for like with the greatest hits and stuff. I try to note it in the notes, and I've also just not noted it before, and I haven't had issues either way. But I do have some people message me on Amazon asking which one I have for sale. So I think the note is helpful, but it's not a make or break it deal.
Trying to get my camera to focus over here. I just made things worse. There we go.
Nice, fixed it.
That looks better. Then we had your question. Do you think your business relies on Amazon too much? No. I think, well, my business is a little bit of a different case because I've got the YouTube side too. If it weren't for that, does it rely on Amazon too much? If it's just, I would say no. Well, I'm trying to put myself in the position of, okay, I've just got, like, the channel doesn't exist. Do I try to do more on other platforms? I think having Amazon and eBay, like recently I've probably been doing about 30-70 eBay, Amazon. And I think that's fine. Like if the worst were to happen and I get inexplicably kicked off of Amazon and I can't reinstate my account, I've still got a pretty solid chunk of sales that are happening on eBay. And I could always just beef up that side of the operation more. And if that did happen, I would probably look into expanding it, like using a cross-listing software like Vendoo or Hammock or whatever, getting all the stuff that I am putting time into listing onto multiple platforms, developing a little bit more of a infrastructure for fulfilling orders on multiple platforms and making sure stuff isn't listed on, you know, doing all that. But I think because I have eBay as like a solid, like number 2, and I've got a bunch of feedback on there, sales are consistent, sell through is good. Having that as a solid fallback doesn't make me like super nervous. And also the fact that I've had my Amazon account now for like 3 or 4 years makes me not as nervous as I used to be about like suddenly getting banned for something. How about you? Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of like, you know, my account's a bit like a year newer, so I've had mine for 3 years. I'm about 80-20 on Amazon versus eBay, so I'm kind of hoping to get a bit more on eBay to kind of have that as a, you know, if the worst happens, I'm not like completely screwed for a bit. But yeah, I'd kind of have the same idea as you. If I'm not too worried about getting kicked off Amazon. If I did, I would just cross-list everything on eBay, Facebook, Mercari, and even potentially try to go more local in my area because there just isn't good game stores. So like I could try to fill that void as a potential alternative. Mm-hmm. But there's just a whole other world of stuff having a retail store with employees versus just selling online by myself. So
yeah, that makes sense. Caliber asks, In that recent video, all the sales were eBay related. Just curious what the justification on why you went with eBay on most items versus Amazon. The Sega CD stuff, I'm sure has crapped for sales numbers, but what about Xbox, PS3, PS4 stuff? All of that is fulfilled by Amazon. So I could have brought up sales numbers, but I couldn't have held the product physically in my hand, which just makes for a worse video. I don't sell almost anything merchant fulfilled right now. Maybe I'll start doing a little bit more for this next week or so, but I also I like still sending stuff into FBA even though we're past the window of being available for Christmas, because January is also a huge month for Amazon sales. So I have no problem still sending my stuff into FBA and saving myself a little bit of time on the shipping side. If I had an employee or two or wasn't like trying to work on videos and stuff as well, I probably would do a little bit more FBM. But yeah, to answer your question, I didn't do Amazon sales because they're fulfilled by somebody else and I have no way of like shooting that. So the eBay sales side was just going to be a little bit more engaging for the video. JD Vance 14 says, how do you add pictures to an Amazon FBA listing? Like one I list with Exceller list and pack and ship. I obviously can't add photos, but when listing, is there a place to do it I'm missing? Particularly for consoles and bundles. I feel like you can do it in Exceller list.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you couldn't, but
I'm looking here. Maybe I'm mistaken. I feel like I've seen that button somewhere, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think the reason neither of us really know is because like we haven't felt the need to. Stuff sells so fast without putting pictures that it kind of seems like an extra waste of time.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there is a way to do it if you find it worth your time to do it.
And for me, if an item is something that I feel the need to put pictures with, I'll just sell it on eBay. I don't really necessarily want that going on Amazon because there are way more returns on Amazon. So if there's either a condition issue that I need to note, or if the item's just highly collectible and people care a lot about condition, I'm just going to throw that on eBay either way. And the second question, do you use any pricing tools? If so, are they able to compare the condition of your item with others in that same condition only for context of pricing? Do you use a repricer, Nathan?
Yeah, I use Reprice It, and you can set different. I'm trying to think of the right word. Different
like settings.
Yeah, settings for like each condition if you want. So like I have two. I have one for new, like new, and very good to match the buy box, and I have one for my good and acceptable to kind of match use the smart pricing or kind of go towards the lower end ones.
Oh, interesting.
And I think that's been pretty well. That's helped me with sales a lot because I'm able to hit the buy box a lot more doing that. But yeah, I think repricers are super helpful, especially if you get more than 100 items, and trying to reprice those daily is way too much time. And yeah, you can customize them pretty well. I think definitely do some test runs and only like have it list like 10 or so items at first, because I know some people have like had it run their entire Amazon store and sold like PS4s for $100 because it drops it way too low.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a valuable tool.
Looks like we've got Cincy Game Hunting in the chat. Thanks for hopping in, man. And appreciate all you've done with the channel. Sorry to see it go, but also definitely respect the decision to end it. Good to see you in here. Mm-hmm. And also on the repricing subject, I would say I use the intelligent repricing for everything. I don't make distinctions relative to the condition, and it's done pretty well for me. I haven't found that it takes my very good inventory and prices it below the buy box really at all, which is I think what it's supposed to do. The whole point of that they have that feature is it's designed to basically make the same kind of decisions that you might. like it's not going to take an acceptable game and try to price it against the buy box. It's going to price it against other low, like acceptable offers. And so yeah, I use reprice it as well. And I have multiple different settings relative to how old the inventory is. So the older it gets, the more aggressively I have it priced, and the more I'm willing to deviate from my original price that I set it at. Would definitely recommend that. I did a live a while back explaining all of my settings that you can go back in the live stream links and find that if you need help. Because at first it can be a little bit complicated, but once you have it all set up and running, it helps your sales a lot. Looking back in the chat over here, we're done with the live stream topic requests. Could we maybe get an FBM for beginners video tutorial? I seem to struggle with setting up the shipping, as it will also choose UPS and be expensive. Are you able to designate that you don't want to ship through UPS? Is there a way to avoid that?
Yeah, when you get to the shipping one, it'll say like Amazon partner carrier, or you can select the other one. So you can select USPS or FedEx through that. But I'm surprised that UPS is the most expensive because their discounted rate is so insane with UPS. I've never had it be like, it's like UPS usually half of what I see the other services for my FBA shipments.
Oh, wow.
But there is a way to change that.
Yeah, and you also can designate like how much extra you want to charge for expedited, I believe. Isn't that the case?
I'm not sure. I don't think I've looked that up. So
I had some setting online that was related to that. It's been I think a year since I did FBM, so I'm a little bit rusty on that. Honestly, I wouldn't really be the one to do that tutorial, but I guarantee there are plenty on YouTube if you were to look that up. That I'm sure would be very helpful. Philip asks, what's the main benefit of Amazon? The price? I would say it's both the prices and also the biggest thing for me is the time savings. Having the option of fulfillment by Amazon and not having to ship everything out myself, being able to list like 100 games in a couple hours is huge for me as a one-person business. What do you think, Nathan?
Yeah, I think the price is probably the main incentive, but having the time you save not shipping every individual item and just sending like 1 or 4 boxes however many times a week or 2 weeks or whatever. And then also the storage, not having to store I have like 1,000 items in the warehouse. If I had that in my house, I wouldn't be able to walk around. So especially if you're in a smaller space, having not to store it is a huge asset.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big point as well, because I've got probably, I think last I checked, like 1,200 items at Amazon's warehouses right now. I can't even imagine how much space that I would definitely need another very well organized shed in order to accommodate that here. So I'm glad I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. Another minor benefit is like less dealing with customer service because you don't have to answer tons of questions about shipping, and you still get plenty messages, but like you can kind of just say like, this is Phil by Amazon, contact them, not me.
Yeah, not my problem in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, folks, we're all the way through the questions. I should probably hop off now, and what I'm going to do, because I can't actually list on Amazon, is start like prepping everything for Amazon, like, and basically making some nice neat piles of every condition and stuff so that I can just like bang it out tomorrow when hopefully it's back online. Who knows if it actually will be. But if you have any other questions that pop into your mind, drop them into live stream topic requests. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for hopping in as well, Natamore.
Yeah, of course.
All right, peace out, guys.